Mid-sized businesses are dependent on growth. Growth creates expansion. Expense creates development. Development brings all kinds of machinery, production issues, and it brings infrastructure that sometimes are concern of security and safety of people. I have with us now Wing Commander Naseem Saab, and he is not only a very fine investigator of airline safety, but is also has expanded into what you call the other aspects of industrial manufacturing, roads and whatnot, all the way down to consumer safety. So let's have a discussion. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Brief discussion.
Yeah. Please tell us that as a wing commander, as an Air Force pilot, and then having such understanding of safety, that how you expanded this to a very broader spectrum, and then try to cascade this knowledge and discipline and art to industrial various aspects of society, so that people can be safe and people can grow with some standards and controls and protections and policies. It's an amazing challenge, but please reflect on this.
Yeah, you see, safety is very paramount in airline industry. It's very well known, and it has been developed in industrial safety also. But for a developing country, what has been the realization in the recent times, that unless the behavior of each individual is progressed on safety understanding, he cannot be that fruitful or useful commodity of the organization. So safety as a subject is now very important and essential for the organizational development. So that means if organization will develop because of the individuals who are having a safety awareness and their concept regarding safety is clear, so it will actually dictate or control or reflect their behavior in day-to-day life, and when they are performing their day-to-day duties in their respective organizations. So safety as a whole will contribute towards the development of the organizations. And especially in underdeveloped countries, when people go for work, the very common issue for conducting any kind of business activity is traveling. Individuals travel, groups travel, and then all the commodities which we can call cargo, it conducts a kind of transfer from one place to another place. During this phase, there is always certain kinds of mishaps which we call, when they are made public, if they have a association or linked with some kind of injury or some kind of loss of property or loss of financial losses. So that we call as an accident. So we have to avoid these accidents in order to promote normal business. A society where there are more accidents, the investments or the investors have a reluctance. And a society which is having very let's say rare accidents or a serious fires are also accidents. Building collapse is an accident. So these are the big accidents. They actually deter the investors and the organizations to come and play their role in that society. So safety is that important, and we have started working in Pakistan that it should start from our schools, at our home, and then ultimately it will culminate into the total business environments where the people are safely minded and they will commit less mistakes.
We come from a culture where it has been demonstrated and proved that the investment in safety is a very solid investment, and it easily covered by the avoidance of the mishaps and also the bad press and the bad publicity, and you very correctly mentioned the investment, but most importantly, the productivity and the morale of the workers. They feel very safe and secure in an organization where they feel that it has being managed by under the laws and rules and regulation of safety, and then of course it also avoids a lot of legal cases that corporations run into and so on. We have very, very tough standards on safety. Is there such a thing in Pakistan? Is safety considered a menace by the mid-sized economy? They look at it as a unnecessary evil and unnecessary cost, or do they embrace it as part of their growth or whatever?
I think your question is very pertinent, and it also shows that you have a good understanding of safety. Actually, safety starts from, as the organization are concerned, they try to protect their assets, and manpower is also their asset, because they have spent something on assets, so they would not like that their assets, human beings or whatever assets in terms of aircraft, vehicles, or the factory machinery, they would not like it should be damaged or wasted as a result of an accident. So they actually try to weigh that how much they should invest in safety and what much will be their, let's say, in kinds of their investment, how much it is secured from safety point of view. One is security, but safety is there. So they are forced to invest something in the safety. But you see, when they look around, there is something known as luck. An organization is investing in safety, even then sometimes they have an accident. And an organization which is not investing, they do not have an accident. So this kind of, you see, statistics, actually they dictate. But when we come to the major organization of the world, like Europe and all that, so there, because of the legal consequences of an accident, they have understood it. They are convinced and they know it. Whether they are interested in the real avoidance of injury to a person, they are concerned with the legal consequences and the compensations and the court cases in which they have to pay. Like we see, we have a Baldia fire case in Pakistan. It was in 2012, and we lost 248 lives. But because there are not enough public organizations, or even the laws are there, but they are not implemented. So even today, they have not been made to get any compensation. The way it could have been made very sure had it been in USA or Germany. At present, whatever compensation they have got is only because of a fact that there is an organization known as Pilar, and they know that the product of this factory was going to Germany, so they were able to put pressure and they got some amount to them. So when you look into Pakistan, coming to your actual question, you see we are making buildings. There is a lot of labor working. So the one is to satisfy the regulator. So it will depend how much regulator is sincere, honest, and they really implement their regulations. So when that is the case, the organization will definitely take all those steps. We can call it ticking the box. That whatever is written in the boxes, he will try to do it. Okay, put in helmets. He will make sure that helmets are there. But whenever possible, he will make cut shorts, because cutting short means more revenues in terms of its business. So it is, in last 10 years, the media is playing a greater role. So because of the media pressure and because of the multinational pressures and because of, let me give an example. In the Air Blue crash, there was only one person. He was an American citizen and he lost his life. So his family was living in Los Angeles, and by coincidence, the international leasing company had his headquarters in USA, and one of the owner was also a US citizen. So after 2-3 years, this family was able to file a civil suit in USA. And it was maintainable, and they got outside the court, because the suit was launched, they got a good compensation. I helped them as an helper, as a safety expert. I made certain statements only, and these were enough. So in Pakistan, it's developing, but the speed is too slow.
What is your biggest challenge to commercialize it and to streamline it so that large number of mid-sized economy across Pakistan would be able to understand better, negotiate better, and absorb and adopt better, and try to go towards what we call the standardization?
Actually, there are three big challenges. Number one challenge is the regulator, the government. Like the rules, regulations are as old as Pakistan. Industrial safety rules are there, but they are very seldomly practiced. Corruption and all that. Second challenge is the support, financial support coming from different directions. If some NGOs or some organizations or individuals want to work for safety, the financial support is missing, because every activity will cost some amount, and there's a huge requirement of safety education. And the third, which I generally say is the biggest challenge, is because of the culture of Pakistan. In our culture, it is inhibitant that if something has happened to me, if I have to meet an accident, I will meet it whether I am safety expert, I am trained in safety or not. That is the culture with the labor class, that is the culture with the managers. So generally, you see in Pakistan, people do not lodge an FIR after a road accident. You must believe it. People say it was the wish of God. So today it was written, this person has to die today.
But this is right across the Muslim culture. It's not only here, it's all over.
So in my last, let's say, 12 years, I have been working as a volunteer. I visit, let's say, take off example of Bhoja. I visited every family of Bhoja, crash victims' family. We work for them, starting getting them, the widows, the heirship certificates, free of cost. We have more than 100 members and very good people, different legal experts and all that. The culture is the biggest problem here to more and more develop the safety culture. The original culture, which is basically based on their faith, their behavior, their understanding of accidents.
But when you see these modern construction, even this hotels and facilities and five-star venues, and take a look at TCS and their whole organization and all the couriers and buses and transports and trucks, when you look at thousands of vehicles are involved, there is a lot of safety consideration. And when you see these places, they are using the rails and they are using the systems and the elevators and all those. They're trying to do that. I feel that the new growth, unless you say otherwise, the new growth or the visible growth of Pakistan, I feel that they are showing some respect for those standardization, which is based on safety.
Definitely, it's visible, but I would again say with a lot of confidence level that the regulator, sometimes you want to satisfy the regulator. Similarly, all the multinationals which has some kind of connection with the developed world, European, North America, they will, because of their rules and regulation, will try to. But if you go, you will find still today what is to be shown as that we are looking after safety, and what is undetected. Like you said, so many vehicles are moving. We have no data, but we have observations. It can be observed, it can be discussed, it can be detected, but data will not support it. How many accidents are taking place in these organizations, minor organizations? I give you a very simple example. Today, I can show you my 3 fingers. They are injured. You can see my quite badly injured. My 2 other fingers are injured. Because, believe you me, our places where we put our hands, where we come in touch with things, they are even not safe. The surfaces are not safe. I have a habit right from beginning. I teach to my students. I am running MBA Aviation Management classes in one of the Karachi University. I started in 2012. So I always tell youngsters that when you are coming down from stairs, you must have your left hand ready on the railing. Because if you fall when you are climbing, the chances of your injuries are very minimum. But when you are coming down and if you fall, you slip, the chances are very serious. But your railings are not safe. They have sharp edges because you don't touch them. I touch them frequently. So there are a lot of sharp edges, protrusions, simple. So you see, so these all injuries in Europe, if you do like this, you can go and file a suit.
Sure.
Here you just go to the hospital and you.
I think it's the micromanagement,
So,
the micro details of the
and
safety.
yeah, and the best improvement will come through safety education. If we start educating our youngsters at school levels, then they will go to the organization.
And I think this is where it's an interesting play, because from a training education point of view, we can see that how this thing could be done on a larger scale right across Pakistan at a education at a level and also at the managerial level of offices and factories and all that. But this is an amazing topic. I want to thank you for coming down here, and we will keep the dialogue open and we will explore that more. And it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you,
very
Naseem.
much, sir. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. We'll continue.